All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How we doing? Happy Monday, September 8th. NQ gapping higher this morning, just now marking some fresh overnight highs. So let's recap Friday session. We had the sell off. There's a bit of a gap higher on Friday with NFP, right? Fails to hold above 800. That was the critical pivot that we talked about for the session. Once that 800 failed, it was a pretty fast move down into 650. And then even still on the stream, we talked about if 650 failed, watch for that 500. Buyer stepped in versus 500. That was a very nice long setup down through there. And we see just pretty much late morning, afternoon, just range set up there on Friday right near the 650. Now this morning, we've got the gap higher. We're just shy of 800 again. So it makes the main watch for today pretty simple. We want to see if sellers are going to step in here again, defending that 800, or if we're going to get the push up and through 800 for a retest up into 900, which is also the prior day high. So pretty straightforward. NQ right now, 782. Overnight high is 793. Backdrop remains neutral, right? This is just a big sideways range for the past 30 plus days. Sideways range. So, straightforward morning. I do have expectations of an inside day, given the range that we saw on Friday. As always, we'll let price and volume prove us incorrect either way. You want to stay flexible with those expectations. And the goal for today is just to look for that A plus opportunity and execute accordingly. Respect all of our rules, not deviate from our rules, regardless of what happened last week, whether it was a green week, a red week, or a flat week. This is a fresh slate. This is a new week. So let's respect our trading rules, follow our playbook, respect our process, and we should have a good day. Should have a good day. Got about 3 minutes till the open. It's your typical no news Monday. No data today. Let's take a look at this intraday action or extended hours action, rather. Yeah. So Friday, get the massive sell off, buyer step in versus 500. End up seeing a pretty nice bounce there, level to level move, 500 into 650. It's just consolidation. Then overnight session, get the push back up into 800. And now it's just been sideways for most of the overnight, most of the pre-market sesh. Just made a fresh overnight high though a minute ago, and again just a second ago. So it looks like we may have an open right here at the level of interest, the 800 level of interest. About 1 minute till the open here. All right, 15 seconds till the open. 23,800. It's the main level on watch this morning. Let's see what we're working with here. See what the market gives us. There's 800. You can see the gap higher, still within prior day's range, though. Being rejected initially. RTY, big rejection to overnight high. Another little rejection there of 800. New low of day on NQ. See if we could get any action above 800, any acceptance above that 800 level. Got that opening 5-minute bar closing in 1 minute. Retesting the highs right there. There's your new high of day. Let's get a look at that fib from Friday. Oh, 70% is right through here. So it's pretty open here until prior day high 900 area. Ray says ES sitting nice. Let's see. Oh yeah, that does look good. ES new high of day. Nice hold of VWAP there. Volume below average. So again, with that acceptance above 800, we're looking for 900. 900. Gabe, RTY going crazy. Yeah, thing. Big puke and RTY coming for overnight low. A little bit of a higher volume node here from Friday. That NQ is coming into. We'll see how that area is going to be treated. ES a little look above the overnight high. It's a good target if you're long from VWAP. And we're getting back into 800. Look at that ES, big rejection there, overnight high. So we'll see if 800 holds here. ES almost into session lows. NQ back into that overnight high, 795. Would love to see a little more volume come in. Decent little hold right there. ES with the little spring setup. See if the highs will trade. See if we get a new high of day. Remember, we're looking for 900. I'd love to see 900. Nine hundo. RTY just on its own this morning. Non-stop selling there in RTY. Let's see, ES set up the intraday spring. It's in the current opening 5-minute bar, and NQ pretty much here as well. Holding 800 though, that's what we like to see. At least for now. I would have preferred to have seen a break of the session high there on that most recent bounce. So far, easiest trade has been the 800 longs per plan, per discussed plan. A little bit of barcode here. Yeah, Gabe. Agreed. It's coiling near the highs though. Volume's just non-existent. Keep that in mind. The volume right here. There's your opening 15-minute bar, closes bullish. You got ES back into session lows here. So most likely still a lot of supply above this 800 for NQ. We'll see if it can continue to hold. RTH session volume point of control is above current price, 835. ES holds the low. Back in a session high. Can we crack the high? Can we crack that high? There it is. New high of day. Now we're looking for 900. Just right back into that structure. Choppy move up. Yep. ES potentially showing some lower highs. And about 9 minutes till 10 a.m. Dang, Mish catching strays over here. Cape. Oh boy. Volume below average. Yeah, I'll more than likely be looking for the exit here shortly. There we go. Fresh highs. See if we can grab 900 now. The idea on that trade, pretty simple. Talked about it before the open. Acceptance above 800, you get the retest. RTY with a little rejection at overnight low. My focus remains on NQ. Again, we're looking for 900 as the main idea. Price above 23,800. We should see some prior day high, some 900 action. NQ just on its own this morning. ES nowhere near session highs. RTY pressing the lows. Real test of patience here. Trying to let this one work. Let it work. Let it work. Went ahead and trimmed a little more of the long off right there. $800 longs. About 60 points in floating profit right now. Just trying to ride it. With each little fresh high, we just trim a little. Prior day high 900 up thrust could be. I'll meet you at prior day high. You could have my contracts. I do a little swap. A little swapperoo. Like to see ES catching a lift here. That helps. Helps the NQ idea. Took a little more off just now. Three minutes till 10 a.m. I saw the bot caught a nice long right through here this morning. Right through there. Love to see that. A little pre-market bot action. A little automation nation. One day I won't have to sit in front of the screens at all. That is the dream right there. James P. I'll post a link for you right here in the chat. You can check it out. And Q pulling in a little bit here. $8.30 I'll trail. I really don't want to, but I'll trail $8.30. Someone was asking if I scalp. We just caught 75 points. I don't know. Everyone has a different definition of scalping. So there's 10 a.m. See if we get another higher low right here. Oh, it says scalps in the video description. Yeah, maybe. It could be a scalper. I don't know. I don't really put myself in a box with definitions like that. Call it whatever you want. I'm just trying to get paid. That's all. Maybe I got to update the description. Trading to make money. It's not swing trading. We can eliminate that. It's definitely not swing trading. No overnight holds. And by extension, it's not position trading either. So I guess that leaves scalping and what else? Like day trading? A scalp for me, how I define it, is just a trade that did not make it to your pre-planned target. So anytime I take a trade where I get trailed out before my main target gets hit, that was a scalp. Now, some people call scalping like they intentionally enter the market to scalp like 5 points or whatever. I never do that. I always have usually at least a level to level move planned out, 100 plus points. And then if my management takes me out before then, it ends up being a scalp. I just got trailed, by the way. Gabe says a scalp is a 5-second, 5 point trade. Yeah, I don't do that. I mean, sometimes my trades will have that outcome, but is not the intention when the trade was put on. So those trades you see me take where I have like a very tight trail because it's an aggressive entry or something like that, I'm out like seconds after the entry. It's a little different, but call it a scalp, call it whatever. I don't care what you call it. So there's 10 a.m. NQ still here above 800, still working with the main idea that 900 should trade. I'm no longer in a position. We had the 800 longs. I took it off a moment ago. Still a higher low as of now, yeah. I didn't want to give it back all the way into 815. So it's real life trading for you. Volume's pretty light. NQ is still within the prior day's range. ES made a new low of day. RTY made a new low of day. So NQ is really on its own here. What's carrying this thing? Let's see. Nvidia, maybe. Let's take a look. Yeah, could be Nvidia. What else do we have in the good old Nasdaq? Meta strong. Let's see. Apple's choppy. Tesla. What are the other heavy hitters I'm not thinking of? Google. Yeah, Google's strong. Okay. Okay. So we got some tech strength. I gotta reload my chart here. Start losing some candles, trading view things. There we go. Yeah, NQ so far, that's another higher low. I got taken out too soon. Darn. Darn. We're looking for 900. I did have a high exit up there. So happy with that. Alrighty. And again, the idea there, we're just looking for long entries above 800. Took an aggressive one pretty close to the entry. Once that new low of day failed to show any follow through, scaled out, added back. Took a tiny bit of drawdown on the add. Little bit. I was a little early. Add at the 815 retest. No, that was a full. It was a full 800 retest, like right through here, right in this area. A little bit below 800 by like a few ticks there, and then just scaling out, scaling out along the way, reducing risk as price gets into my target. What you look for on the 30-second chart for trigger entry, very basic bullish candlestick. The more important thing is the location. So I have specific areas I want to get involved with. And then once I have some sort of proof, like super basic signal bars, think of like hammer, bullish engulfing, things like that. As of right now, there's not much I can do here. I either need up above 900 or back into 800. Someone mentioned that was the 50% fib retrace where I got trailed. Yeah, I didn't have my eyes on that, or I may have put the trail a little bit lower. At what point would you say we showed acceptance above 800? That's the tricky thing about acceptance because even right now, let's say like at this point, we have a flush of 800 and never revisit above 800 for the session. On the higher time frames, that would look like no acceptance above 800, right? It would look like just a little blip above 800. And so typically with something like that, I mean, the more time you spend above the level, the better. Also depends on what time frame you're looking at. So initially, early in the sesh, like that initial long, what I'm looking for is any sort of trap one way or another. So when price kind of failed to, you have the initial look above 800, pretty much the opening minute, right? That kind of fails. Price looks beneath into the session low, and sellers can't show any continuation though. So my expectation would be that if price is going to mark a low right here following a pretty clear rejection of 800, they should be able to show some follow through because the thought is like overnight high up thrust with a level of interest there being rejected, and they can't. And so that this right here was like my main clue that, oh, okay, we may see at least a rally until 10 a.m. and then maybe, post 10 a.m. reversal time, something like that. And that's kind of what gave me the conviction to take that initial more aggressive entry. And I actually had some orders out at 850 that were just shy of being filled on that push. But once we got back into 800, that's gonna be the much easier entry, right? So the retest is gonna be like the no-brainer, if you will. Easy entry, easy attempt. And then if it fails right there, no big deal. You just take the stop and move on. Potentially a lower high right there in the making. We start to see a break of the 825 area. At 800 can unlock. But with how ES is looking, do I want to set risk there again? I'll have to see how it looks if price gets down in there. Might be one for the props, not the personal. Here's that 38% fib. Note the volume. Want to keep an eye on that today. How's our profile looking? So you may see session volume point of control shift up into this area here. Maybe another 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes. If price can stay in this zone. You can see value area high right in this area for the extended hours. So a little bit of a change in character. Intraday, ES is pressing the session lows. Coming back into 800. I don't love it here. Just based on what we're seeing in ES and then the fact that this thing did not even trade up into prior day high gives me some pause. So with that in mind, I'm gonna wait for a real test of 800 and then see how it looks down in that area. We do have a little uptick in volume here. That's good to see. Fib buy zone, FBZ. We use a lot of acronyms around here. FBZ. Coming into 800. $800 on watch. Don't tell me that was it right there. The Chrissy trap, yep. Always on watch. Always on watch. Wow, was that the bounce right there? That's what I get. No position. Like I mentioned, one of the full test of 800, not 805, not 810, full test of 800. So far, still just with my one trade on the morning. VWAP right there too. Yeah, I just wanted it a little bit lower. It's all good. It's a low volume Monday, still an inside day. Selectivity on a day like today for me is very important. I'd much rather do less on a day like today. Based on what we're seeing down here. And based on the fact that price, I mean, look at this range. Here's Friday's range, right? I'm just right there. That's the sort of setup, like I was mentioning earlier, that I like to deploy the prop firms for, but no dice. No entry taken. No entry. We got the Lucid accounts queued up though, just in case we do see something. This is Edge Pro X. I changed the background a little bit. It's a pretty nice platform. It reminds me of TradeStation quite a bit. You got in anyway? Solid. Hey, you're getting paid right now. I wouldn't say that I was greedy. The setup was there and it pretty much checked all the boxes, right? You have the level of interest, you got a fib buy zone, you got VWAP. I would have liked a little more volume, but I was just being extra particular with what I personally wanted to see. So that was solid. Nice work. Understanding that your risk was the 800 level of interest. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. As long as you have that awareness, the kind of open bubble right there, risk bubble. So I like to think about it. So I may actually see that session high here. All right, let's run a quick poll. See how this Monday morning is treating everyone 1 hour into the sesh. Let me know. Vote in the poll. Are you green? Are you red? Are you flat? Cash or break even? Personally, green. One trade on the day. The main focus this morning was how price responded to 23,800 as the level of interest. So far today, we've seen good acceptance above 800. Oh, you got ES in the session highs now as well, just shy of session highs. If ES can show some fresh highs, I would expect NQ can finally get up into 900. 900 prior day high area. Let's get an update on our higher time frames. Yeah, here we go. And a break of 900, like we talked about on Friday, I mean, it pretty much unlocks the session high there, or excuse me, the all-time high. After this move trails me out, I'll do my journaling and call it a day. That's a good shout right there. I got to get my trade logged as well. Appreciate the reminder. Let's get that done right here. And here's NQ session highs just about. Wow, well done on the long, everyone. Nicely done. I may have been a little too cautious there. That's all good though. That's trading for you. Weight of the evidence. It's a weight of the evidence game. There's your new high of day. Might be an up thrust right there. No level or anything though. All right, man. Take care. Nicely done on that trade. Oh, nice, Ray. Have a good one, man. So NQ rejected that session high. However, that was in no man's land, so potentially that was just profit taking for the longs from 800. We will see. Pretty much still just chilling here, just one trade on the morning. See if we could find something else for the prop accounts, but that might be it for the self-funded personal account. Said a few times now, but this is your typical Monday action right here. I just reiterate that because you don't want to be doing too much on a morning like this. Much on demand, yes, sir. You already know. That's fun. Benny, you catch the long this morning? ES new high of day. Let's see if NQ can follow NASDAQ. Just shy of the highs. Few ticks shy of the highs right there. Get rid of that fib. The fibbler. No new high made just yet. Forgot about the poll. Let's see the poll. 66% green, 35 votes. Wow. And 26% flat. That's actually great. That's amazing right there. Heck yeah. Well done, everyone. See if we get a break of the highs here. There you go. New high of day, NQ. Not much else I can do here. Just staying patient for that test of 900 prior day high 23,902. Yeah, 900's the target. It's pretty close now. Right now, just getting some journaling done, getting that trade review done while we wait for price to give that next setup. Ultra low volume here, so very low expectations. I'll probably give it a max of another 15 minutes before calling it a morning. Are you selling once it hits the 900? I'm already out. I trailed earlier. I was looking for 900, but if I was long right now, yeah, I'd be out at 900. And the idea was if price can show acceptance above the 23,800 level, it should test 900, should test that prior day high area. I was initially involved through here. We got the nice push, trailed somewhere through here. You had a very nice re-entry right in this area. I had mentioned that I wanted a true test of 800. I may have been a little bit too cautious right through there. It was pretty close, but hindsight always 2020, right? Nice move nonetheless. Gabe's ready. Gabe's waiting for that 900 up thrust. Yeah, if another setup comes, I'll more than likely be done with the personal self-funded account and look to execute in the Lucid. That's the prop flavor of the day today. But no trades yet. No trades. I was looking down in this area, wanted a little bit lower, like I said. Did not materialize. So we chill. We wait. Yeah, the Lucid accounts are solid. I would definitely give, if you're deciding between the two, I'd go Tradeify first, Lucid after. Yeah, I'd max out the Tradeify, Gabe. Get your 5 accounts there, and then go with Lucid. If you already have my top 3, Top Step, Take Profit Trader, and Tradeify. Actually, Take Profit Trader would be number 1, then Top Step, then Tradeify. For Dia, I've heard of them, but I've not looked too deeply into that firm. Lucid is solid. I'd go Lucid, probably slot 4 or 5 for your trade syncer setup. And then Funded Next is solid. I really like their offering. And what was the other one? Funding Ticks, I think it is. Kind of rounds out the top 5, top 6. There you go, Rich. Love the feeling when respecting myself with only taking high quality trades. Heck yeah. Beautiful. That's what it's all about right there. That's how you build confidence in your own ability, conviction in your own ability and systems. You got to prove to yourself that you can respect your rules, follow your process. Any trader out there that struggles to respect their rules, of course, you're going to be feeling anxious or some type of negative energy about your trading. It's because internally, you're struggling to follow your rules. So, of course, like that should not be that surprising. But you can develop the habit of following your process of respecting your rules one session at a time, one day at a time. So respect your rules today. That's a good day, regardless of if your P&L is green or red. If you followed your process, you respected your rules. That's a good trading day, as far as I'm concerned. I know everyone's focused on P&L because the scoreboard, what I call the scoreboard, is always right there. But P&L is a lagging indicator. It's going to follow pretty much how well you can adhere to your process and whether or not you actually have trading edge. And then on the days where, we all have slips here and there. So on the days that you may have we'll call it a dip in form, a little lapse in your form there. You want to have the broker hard limits, broker side limits, daily loss limits. Tradeovate has it. Tradeovate has weekly loss limits. Project X, of course, has it. Any firm with Project X, and it's not really, shouldn't be viewed as like a handicap. I know a lot of traders view it as like, well, I should just have the willpower to respect my process and everything. And yeah, I definitely agree with that. But we all have slips here and there, right? And so It's like an insurance policy. Just keep that daily loss limit locked into the broker. That way you're always secured. If that's in there, you know that you're at least on any given day, you can never blow up because the broker's going to lock you out. Now, if you're in there and you're, I've heard from traders that will set the daily loss limit and then they're getting close to it and they'll go in and adjust it. If you're doing that, I mean, it's over. It's over. You can't be doing that. Can't be doing that. But I think Project X definitely has it so you can set the risk settings and then lock yourself out of the risk settings so you can't even go in there and tinker with it. I don't know if Tradeovate has that, but Project X definitely has that, which is great. Protect self from self. Yeah, exactly. It's like a guardrail. Exactly. When you go on tilt, it's impossible to get out. That's why having those safeguards matters. Yeah, I agree 100% with that. Yep. It's a good analogy there, too. So we're coming into 11 a.m. We'll see if we get a little burst of activity here, any sort of action the next few minutes. And then if not, we'll likely call it a morning. It's going to be a one and done day for me, most likely. 800 longs were the focus for today. That's exactly what we hit pretty much off the open. I did like the re-entry, but I wanted it lower just for extra confirmation. And that would have been done in the prop account because I didn't love it. I liked it. I didn't love it enough for the self-funded, but it did not get all the way into 800, so no executions there. And you end up missing the push, and that's all right. That's all right. You gotta be willing to just be okay with the decisions that you make based on the information that you had at the time, right? It's easy to look back with hindsight and say, "Oh, I should have done this," but what I like to think about is, all right, had I actually got in there at say 825 and then it rolled over after I said I wanted a true test of 800, I would not be thinking that I did the right thing. So you always got to be thinking about both sides. All right, so we're post 11 a.m. here. Session volume point of control is up at 869. We've not seen a true test of 900 yet, which means this is still an inside day and we are well below average volume. I mean, look at the volume. This line here is not a moving average. It is showing you historical average volume at this time of day. So it's a true relative volume look back. And this volume is just terrible. It's terrible. All right, folks, I think we call it a day. Very low expectations for the rest of today. Tomorrow might be a little interesting. We do have at 10 a.m. we have the NFP revision. It's kind of an under the radar print. That's at 10 a.m. So if there's some big revisions to NFP, we may get some market movement tomorrow 10 a.m. Wednesday PPI, Thursday CPI. Personal note: this will be my last full week of trading for the next few weeks. Next week from the 17th to the 26th. I'll be offline getting married. So I'll be totally offline. No streams. I will not be trading. I will not be active whatsoever. So just FYI. Heads up on that. But outside of that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for your time this morning. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.